Today, we wanted to show you how to make an awesome scrambled egg dish,滑蛋虾仁, shrimp and eggs. It's a classic and pretty easy to boot, but it does take a bit of technique to get nice crunchy shrimp, and of course, to arrive at that silkiness that's so characteristic of Cantonese scrambled eggs. So right, to get started with shrimp and eggs, you'll need shrimp. This was 200 grams of shell-on shrimp. First peel them, and for this dish, small shrimp would be preferred because they end up combining better with the eggs. After peeling, you should be looking at something like 100 grams of meat. You can devein these guys if you like. When I'm cooking for myself, I usually don't bother, but a lot of people seem to be really passionate about the topic, and I'm not going to risk their ire. Now, like a lot of sea creatures, shrimp have this thin layer of slime on them to protect from parasites and such, and it's that slime that can make shrimp a little mushy when cooking shell off. So for juicier, crunchier shrimp, leave them under running water for 15 minutes to rinse that stuff right off. After that time, the shrimp should look obviously whiter. As an aside, a soak in something like a baking soda brine would also accomplish much the same thing, but either way, pat the shrimp dry, then move them over to a kitchen towel. We want these to be really dry, and this process will also help remove any leftover slime on the surface. Then transfer the shrimp over to a bowl, and marinate with a 1/4 teaspoon salt, a 1/4 teaspoon sugar, a sprinkle of white pepper powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon liaojiu, aka shaoxing wine. Then just give it a mix, squirt in a 1/2 teaspoon of peanut oil, coat that well, and set aside for at least 10 minutes to marinate. Now to fry those shrimp, as always, first, lang yao, get that wok piping hot, shut off the heat, add in the oil, here about 3 to 4 tablespoons, and give it a swirl to get a nice nonstick surface. Heat on high now, toss in the shrimp. Fry for about 45 seconds or until the shrimp have changed color, then dip those out and leave the now fried shrimp in a strainer to drain out any excess oil. Now for the egg, first crack open 5 medium eggs and season that with a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of sugar, an optional sprinkle of MSG, and a 1/2 teaspoon liaojiu, aka shaoxing wine. And to ensure a juicier scrambled egg, mix together a teaspoon of cornstarch with enough water for it to just come together. Cornstarch helps the egg retain moisture while it cooks. Now do a bang-up job whisking those eggs. Really beat the snot out of them. You're looking for the eggs to be a touch frothy and have no stray strands of egg white remain. Then toss in your cooked shrimp, a bit of sliced scallions, about 5 grams worth, and finally, the secret to the very best Cantonese scrambled eggs, lard. If you've never had it, lard with eggs is aggressively awesome, a real classic combination in Guangdong. That said, don't feel obliged to use it. You can get great results without as well. So add in 2 teaspoons of melted lard, together with a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, and again, just skip the lard if you don't have any on hand. Now for scrambling. First know that there's probably almost as many ways to do it as there are chefs in China. The technique we like most though is layered scrambled eggs. To do it, first add in 3 tablespoons of lard or peanut oil and do another quick lang yao. Then over high heat, heat it up until rapidly bubbling around a pair of chopsticks or about 190 centigrade, then shut off the heat and toss in the egg. It'll quickly puff up a bit, so then just scoop from the bottom and lay it on top. Put the flame back on high, wait until bubbles form around the edges, about 10 seconds, then take it off the heat. The idea here is to let the uncooked egg drain off and layer our cooked portions on top of each other so that they don't get overdone. Another 10 seconds over high flame, then take it off and repeat. Quick note that this whole process would be massively more convenient on a normal kitchen stove or even a standard wok burner with a ledge. You usually don't need to fiddle around with the flame here, just take the wok on and off the heat. But regardless, once the eggs are mostly set, we're finished, and this could even be a bit runnier if you like. Eggs out, and your滑蛋虾仁is done.
So the basis of this dish is a classic old-school Cantonese scrambled egg called 黄埔炒蛋 or 黄埔炒蛋in Mandarin. As Chris said, there are a million ways that you can scramble these eggs. But no matter what route you go, the essence of it is egg and lard. So check out the red link in description box for detailed recipe. A big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.